2012, I failed grade 12 with 19 points, guys. So you already failed grade 12 and here you are pregnant. Yo, guys.
Maybe your mom is Grace, ne?
Oh, that was just like, how can all these things happen at the same time? While I was busy studying, my water broke. So I was about to go into labor. I'm like, oh my goodness. So I wrote English while I was going through labor pains.
True.
These pains are kicking in here. You need to write exams. Yo, it was really hectic. I already felt like I disappointed my parents. So I just wanted to, I wanted to show them that no, I can do it. I'm not going to disappoint you guys anymore, and I'm not going to drop this halfway. I'll finish what I started in 5 subjects. So I'm like, at least I know I'll get a course. I'll be able to study. I was at NAST. I got a call from a lady, and then she was like, I'm calling you from the Ministry of Justice. I would like to tell you that you got a job. Wow. I owed you 5,000 something for those 2 modules, and I'm like, oh, I don't have this money. There's no way. But to the grace of God, I don't know, something miraculous happened. I went on my portal. I checked if my timetable was loaded, and I was just checking my account balance. My dear, there was a 0.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Wilka here, back with yet another exciting video.
So today's video is a continuation of Your Pace or Mine. I'm seated here with somebody that's very dear and close to my heart. She's going to introduce herself after this. So yeah, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to comment in the comment section below. Anything you want to tell her, any encouragement, any questions you want to ask her, she will be able to respond to you. She's somebody that came from a place where people would really feel bad about it, to a place where people will look at it and be like, you didn't go through anything, but she's actually been through the most. So yeah, just introduce yourself.
Hi guys, so my name is Celestina. So today I'm going to talk about my story, what I went through in life and where I am today and how God brought me through it. And I've always loved to be at university. I wanted to study medicine. So at the end of 2012, I failed grade 12 with 19 points, guys. So that means I couldn't go back to school or anything. I couldn't pursue my dream career. I felt so bad about it. And all my friends were going to university, and I just felt like, no, I'll be left alone in Grootfontein, because there was no way I could move to Windhoek. I mean, you failed, where are you going? Obviously you will remain in Grootfontein. And you know how it feels like remaining in your hometown. That means there's nothing for you to do, or except work in a shop, or maybe become a nanny.
So I want to ask, like, at that point when you failed grade 12, were you crying? How did you deal with the emotions? Or did you, I know you said you felt bad, people were going to university and all that, but how exactly were your emotions? Like, okay, so what now? What am I going to do? Were all these thoughts running through your head? Did you think you're going to ever go to university? Did you give up on your dream to ever go to university? Or what happened after that?
No, I felt bad. I don't remember crying because I felt like I kept it to myself for I think for a few hours, because that time I remember I SMS'd, we used to SMS our results at midnight. So I got my result. I failed. I was afraid. I felt bad, and I knew that I needed to tell my mom, because obviously they were gonna buy the newspaper. My mom then. But then they were disappointed, because they thought, okay, she's now finishing school, she'll pass, she'll go to university. Yeah, but here she failed. Very supportive person. She didn't really show that she was disappointed. She was very encouraging and motivating.
Yeah. And
you can do NAMCO. But then deep down I wasn't really fine with the issue of NAMCO, because I wanted to be in Windhoek.
Yeah.
Because all my friends now are going to Windhoek. Most those years, Windhoek is it's the place. It's the good life. I waited for school to restart again, and I had to enroll for NAMCO. I think I enrolled for like 4 subjects,
which were math, physics, biology.
Because you know I wanted to do nursing, so I had to improve those modules, those subjects. Yes, I registered for NAMCOL. Everything was fine. I was ready to start school, but it was 2013. Yeah. Okay, so while I was that year, during that period, then I discovered that I was pregnant. Sure.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Sure.
So now you can just imagine you already failed grade 12 and here you are pregnant. Yo, guys.
Maybe your mom is Grace, ne?
Oh, that was just like, you know, how can all these things happen at the same time?
Like,
Going to quit either. I wasn't going to quit my NAMCOL. I just decided I'll continue with my NAMCOL. So during that time, I didn't tell my mom. So they didn't know that I was pregnant. I was just hiding. And no one noticed. So I was just behaving nice. I was trying to avoid them, you know, all these things. Go to school, come back home, go in the room, come studying, what. Sure. Fast forward to when they discovered that I was pregnant. My mom wasn't, again, she wasn't really emotional or angry to say, yeah, you what, or calling me names. She was very supportive because, I mean, they discovered when I was 6 months pregnant. She wasn't really angry. Maybe she was, but she didn't
like show it.
Yeah, she didn't show it. My grandmother then, they just sat me down and asked me, so what happened and all those things. Who's the guy, what, you know, was those how they do it in the traditional way. But during that time, I still continued to go to NAMCO. And I was doing great. I mean, my subjects, I was doing my assignments on time. I wrote my exams. And while I was studying, I think in studying for, I think mathematics or English, I can't remember. So that time while I was busy studying, my water broke. So I was about to go into labor. I'm like, oh my goodness. So now my water broke. I'm writing like the next day or so, or then 2 days from now.
Yeah.
Sure, that was hectic. I didn't tell anyone until my mom came back from work, and then I told her. And then she asked me like, what happened? When did this happen? I'm like, no, this time. But you are quiet. You didn't tell anyone in the house. I'm like, no. So we went to the hospital. Then, you know, the nurses checked me, and then they were like, no, she's a bit far from labor. So I stayed in the hospital for a day. Next day, I think I was supposed to write English, yeah. So I wrote English while I was going through labor pains.
Sure.
Because I remember Uncle had to ask one of the teachers from NAMCOL to come and like to bring the questions to me, so I write there. And he was such a nice man. I mean, even while I was writing, he was asking, "Are you fine? Can we like stop the recording? What?" And no, I was just like, "No, I'm fine." We continued with I continued with the writing. Managed to finish, I guess, yeah. That time it was now hectic pains. Y'all that gave birth will know what I'm talking about. You know, those pains are kicking in here. You need to write exams. Yo, it was really hectic.
Yeah. That's Grace, bro.
Yeah,
I've given
it's,
up already.
yeah.
I was write English next year. But what made you continue like to write despite the pain that you were feeling? Because I mean, you could have said, I'll do it next year.
I wanted to, you know, I already felt like I disappointed my parents. So I just wanted to, I wanted to show them that, no, you know, I can do it. I'm not going to disappoint you guys anymore, and I'm not going to drop this halfway. I'll finish what I started.
Yeah.
Yes. I went into labor that evening, because I remember I wrote at 10, because you know those English papers you write most from 8 till what time. So on the 1st of October, yeah, it was on the 1st of October. So I went into labor around 6 in the evening. And I think a day from there, I was still going to write physical science. Yes, so yeah, I gave birth. Here I am, I need to study because I'm now
writing another paper
again. Yo, it was something else, guys. So yeah, I finished. I was discharged from the hospital. The next day I needed to write physical science. And yeah, I think everything went well. come November again or December, my results were out, and then I passed my subjects, but I think I didn't do well in mathematics again. So I had to rewrite again math the next year, which was 2014. So that same year, I decided that I would add another module, which was geography. I wrote it on high level. I had geography and math, and I passed because I wanted to get 35 or was it 30 points, 32 points, so they can admit me now in that nursing school. Yeah. But then math, I still did bad, and I was so disappointed because math was the only thing keeping me behind.
Yeah.
Geography, I passed with a 4 on high level. So yes, so in 2014, I came to Windhoek because I wanted to enroll for nursing. Nursing school couldn't take me because my marks were not enough, so I was just there to UNAM trying to look for courses and all these funny things. So a friend of mine once, she invited me to NAS. She was like, no, come at NAS, you can register for late registration, business management or something. Yeah, or in agriculture. So we were just there running around on campus. Okay, so before that, or 14, a friend came to me, and then she came with job adverts, vacancies. And she was like, no, you see, you have must grade 12 and you did the subject office administration at school. Apply, maybe they might take you. So I applied for that, and I was called for interviews in November that year. I went for written interviews. Then they said they will call us back because we're a lot. I think we're maybe 30. We're quite a lot, and we did that test. First we did a typing test, and they said if you pass 35 words per minute, they'll call you back for oral interviews. Okay, fine. So we did the typing test. Then later in the afternoon they called. They said, no, you passed, come for interviews, oral. Fine, I went for oral interviews, and I think there the number was now limited. We were maybe 15. Okay, so that was now my first interview. I don't know what goes on in the government, what questions they are going to ask, and I'm just like, yo, okay, it's just by the grace of God. So I went through the oral interviews, and they said they will call us again after a month or so, in January now, when I came to Windhoek now to look for school, because I'm like, I want to go study. I cannot stay here in Grootfontein, because now I have now my marks. I think I had 29 in 5 subjects, so I'm like, at least I know I'll get a course. I'll be able to study. So my friend was, okay, now back to the NAST part. We were just there at NAST, standing in those queues, trying to apply and all that. And while I was at NAST, I got a call from a lady, and then she was like, hi, am I speaking to Felistina Nangolo? And I'm like, yes. And I told her like, yes. Then she was like, no, I'm calling you from the Ministry of Justice. I would like to tell you that you got a job. Wow. And I was like, what?
In Windhoek?
Yeah, no, the job was in Grootfontein. So I was happy, but then I was like, no, but I want to be in Windhoek and I want to study. So now I was just there thinking, should I study, or should I not take this job offer, or what am I going to do? But then the thing is, with the studies, I wasn't admitted yet. And then I phoned my mom, I phoned everyone that, I got a job, what. And they were like, no, they encouraged me to take the job offer, because I can always go study. If I want to study, I can always study anytime. So I took the job offer. I went to sign my contract. Then I had to now go back to Grootfontein. So I started working in Grootfontein, and while I was working, colleagues would always ask me like, how old are you, and all those things. Don't you want to study law, and such things. But then I never ever wanted to study law. No. Or it was not even in my list of careers. I never even thought of it. But then they were like, no, you can. And to study law, you needed 35 points in 5 subjects. And I'm like, no, but I don't even have 35, so I don't qualify. And the guy was just like, no, but you can do a diploma. From the diploma, you can move to the degree. Then I was like, I don't like law, it's fine. So, but then you are just like, no, you can think about it, because I mean, you don't want to see yourself just in the same place, and you are very young, you can, study law and become a lawyer. So while I was working at the magistrate's office, I started loving, this whole law thing, seeing magistrates wearing their gowns. I started admiring these young lawyers. Whenever I see them in court, I'm just like, wow, if only it was me. So I applied now at UNAM to study paralegal. It's a diploma in law. But the only problem was it's not distance, it's face-to-face, meaning I needed to be in Windhoek. Sure. And I was like, oh my goodness, how am I going to do this? And I inquired from people. I asked my supervisors, I want to study, what should I do? They encouraged me and motivated me, and told me what I needed to do. And I was so happy, like, oh yes, I'm going to the Windhoek that I always wanted to go to. So yeah, I applied and then I was accepted. But then the only problem was, like, now I needed to request for a transfer to come work in Windhoek, which was a bit difficult, because they were like, no, for you to go to Windhoek, you must, should be a vacancy, or you should ask for a cross transfer. So I had to call now all the offices in Windhoek, asking if there's someone that wants to do a cross transfer, but nope, nobody wanted to do a cross transfer. And that was now like in December, and school was starting in Feb. So January I needed to register. I'm just like, Lord, what am I going to do? So I asked, Pastor them to pray for me, for a breakthrough, and Pastor Boot. We prayed and all that, and luckily I heard that there was a vacant position, because one lady was moving to Walvis, I think. So then I wrote my letter quickly and told now our bosses in Windhoek that there's a vacancy here at Katutura Court and what. So because for you to, in order for you to ask for a transfer, you need to motivate your letter. And they need to know, like, no, there really is a vacancy. So I did that, and by God's grace my transfer was approved within a week. I was so happy.
Amen.
So I came to Windhoek. I needed to prepare now to come to Windhoek. So now I didn't know, where am I going to stay? How am I going to start? And when I applied, I didn't think of registration fees. And guys, I'm just like, okay, so now where am I going to stay when I land in Windhoek? So I think I told her, no, I'm coming to Windhoek, but I don't have a place to stay. I need a place to stay and all that. And that time she was living in Pioneers Park. And I stayed with her for a few days, but she couldn't stay with me for a longer period, because her landlord wouldn't allow. Because she was renting a small room. Then she hooked me up with a friend, and I think I went to stay with her friend for a month while she was looking for a bigger place that we could share. God has been really faithful through it all.
Because I remember you said, pray for me to get a transfer. I need to come there. I was just like, now you're in, now you're praying for transfers. But sure, it was just deep.
Really, God was just working everything out himself. Like, I didn't really need to do anything. Everything went well. I enrolled, I had a place to stay, I started my job. School was going fine until my second year, when I was about to graduate. Then I had to fail now. Guys, and you think that this is maybe where I'm supposed to be, but now I'm here failing again. A step behind, because now all my friends are going to LLB. I'm just like, that I couldn't move on to LLB while doing that module again that year. But the bad part was I couldn't afford to pay for those two modules, because NSF was funding my studies. So if you fail, they will not fund your studies. I took a step of faith registered. Luckily, I had the registration fees. I registered. So now exams are approaching, and you know, with UNAM, you need to what? You need your fees, your tuition fees before writing exams. Because I remember I owed UNAM 5,000 something for those 2 modules, and I'm like, oh, I don't have this money. There's no way that I could pay this. But I'm hoping that they will allow me to write my exams, and then maybe they just hold my qualification.
Yeah.
But to the grace of God, I don't know, something miraculous happened. I went on my portal, I checked if my timetable was loaded, and I was just checking my account balance. My dear, there was a zero OT. I'm like, guys, then I thought maybe it's a mistake, let me just I went again. Still the balance was zero. So I thought maybe I'll be amongst those that will not be allowed to write exams because they owed UNAM. But I was allowed exams, and I could even like print my academic record to register for my degree, because the same was when you owe the university, then they won't print your academic record. So that time I just went like, I want to test if I really don't owe UNAM any money. So I went there with my $100 because I want to print now my academic record. So yes, I told them, no, I want to print my academic record. And then they asked for my student number. I gave it to them, and they said, no, just pay $100 because to print it cost almost $100. And I'm like, really? I don't owe UNAM? Sure. That was just
so you don't even know who paid the
up
account?
to today, I have no idea. I'm just like, yeah, maybe UNAM one day will call me and say, this student,
owes money from
Sure, I'm just like, to be honest, that's really a miracle that I don't know how it came, who paid. Like until today, I just wonder, and like I'm like, God, maybe one day UNAM will still come back and say, this girl didn't pay. I always wanted to graduate, like, you know, wear that graduation gown, walk on stage and all those things, because I was supposed to graduate the following year, which is 2020, but then I always prayed like, God, I'll graduate no matter what. Even like when I failed, I prayed, and then I'm just like, God, I don't care whether I failed or what, but still I'm going to graduate. Because I remember Pastor Booth always used to tell us, you should always declare what you want to see. Even if you don't see, you must just say, you must speak the word. So, and then that year, UNAM announced that they will have 2 graduations, the spring graduations.
Yeah, that's when it came.
Yeah, that's when it came. And then I'm like, yes. So I don't need to graduate the next year, now 2020, because I didn't even want to graduate this year, because I felt it was too far to wait again. And come spring, I graduated, and now we are here in 2020. Graduations were cancelled. You see, I'm just like, wow, God has a way of, you know, making things happen for his children. And yeah, I enrolled for my degree. Battery low. So I enrolled for my degree, I was accepted, and I'm currently pursuing it.
Amen. You know, because I remember last year when you graduated, and I was like, confidence, dedication, commitment, everything personified, and I really meant it. Like because for me, I'm like, there's so many people that went through like a lot of setbacks. You would have thought, okay, I'm pregnant, I failed grade 12, it's done. Let me just stay here, become a teller, become a white, you know, just settle for that and not pursue anything else. But you're like, you went to write in your pregnancy, and you still, even after failing every year, you kept upgrading until you could come here. So that for me is like, wow, like, and it's encouragement to anybody out there who's like, who has given up hope of, okay, I've given birth, or I failed grade 12, or I keep upgrading, but I'm not getting the marks. For you to try and upgrade, you know, and you're never too old. I don't understand how we young people always think, it's too late. I'm already 23. Are you serious? Like, I'm already 30, you know. And I love the quote that somebody said that even if you're saying you can't study because you're 30, and by the time you finish you'll be 36.
Yeah.
But even if you don't study, you're still going to be 36 either way. So why not just pursue your studies? If you have to do it distance, if you have to ask for a transfer, just do it,
Yeah,
you
just
know?
do it.
Yeah.
Or sometimes people think that maybe if you have a child now, then you cannot study. You are limited. You just need to stay home, take care of your child, and then look for those tailor works so that you can provide for your child. I mean, that was also my case now. Imagine you have a child. Do you want to go study? Who will maintain your child? Who will take care of your child? But luckily, my mother was very supportive. You know, she took that upon herself to take care of her child until where I get to a point where I can take care of her myself, you know. So I'm really grateful for that, that I didn't give up on my dreams because I have a child now. I must take care of her. She's a baby. Then I must give up on my career. What? No. It didn't happen that way. And you know, the good part is now I can stay with her. She's no longer with my mom because
which is also one thing I love.
Yeah.
Because I remember a few years you're like, I want my child to come to Windhoek as well, to come stay with me. And I was like, that is deep. You know, sometimes other people forget about their kids blowing. But I'm not judging those that can't. If you really can't, wait for the point, like what she said. Wait for the time where you can take care of your child. So sure, that is amen. Like I give all the glory to God, honestly. And sure, there was a turnaround. And I know few years you'll be there, lawyer. And you'll be sharing your story. Like it didn't come easy, but at least
it didn't come easy. And you know, I would just like to tell you guys, like, you know, during that time, I must say I was born again. I knew God, and even when I sinned, God never forsake me, or you know, he was still there. Amen. I could pray and he would, you know, he would perform miracles. Because, you know, some of us sometimes think like, I sinned, so it's over. I'm leaving church. I'm no longer going back to church. God doesn't love me. God will never forgive me. But that wasn't the case, you know. I kept going to church.
Amen.
My pastor was so loving. He was so welcoming. He wasn't like, no, this girl from my church, she's now pregnant and she just finished her school. You know, they were very, very supportive, and even my friends were very supportive. They did make me feel like, and all the goede. They would still visit, they would still call, and you know, that's the good part about having God-fearing friends and friends that really love you. Because I still remember when you guys would visit me coming from Windhoek. At least then you wouldn't feel like, my friends forgot about me. So
I'm done. Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share, don't forget to like, and let me know what you guys think. And you guys can ask her questions. She'll comment in the comment section below and respond to you as well. If you're in that case, bye guys.